Time to revisit the most talked about TAC TV episode of all time. This is the Daniel Defense torture test taken to the extreme.
I'm very happy to see that Daniel Defense has taken a look at last year's testing and developed even more stringent criteria for this year's evaluation. They've refined the weapon, they've refined their test criteria, and the weapon will be run through an entirely new set of situations.
Today we shot 1,000 rounds on full auto with no malfunctions technically, and then we shot another 1-inch group at 100 yards. So far so good on the endurance test. Last year we did dirt, this year we chose to do sand. First test covered it with sand with the ejection port closed, muzzle tape came up, ran fine, and then when we dumped it back into the sand with the ejection port cover open, bolt first into the sand, we had one malfunction, but after that just a quick immediate action and the gun ran great.
Next test, we'll bury it in the mud down here. We're gonna leave it overnight, come out here tomorrow morning, see how it shakes.
Short of encasing it in concrete, I've never seen where that amount of material had crept into the crevices of the weapon before.
Whenever Larry first pulled the gun out of the mud this morning, I was really surprised to see it go bang the first time. That thing was absolutely caked in mud. After Larry cleaned the gun off pretty good, picked it up, dropped it in a mud puddle, shot great. So I think overall the mud test went really well.
All right, the next test is the shrapnel test. This year we're gonna attack it with double-aught buckshot. Now, that's a little bit different story. Yeah, it's jammed. We're not gonna be able to get this bolt out here. We're gonna have to take it back to Daniel Defense and have them get the bolt out.
Today, we're gonna drag the rifle behind the truck.
Bombs away.
I predicted that we were gonna have some cosmetic and surface damage, but nothing that would prohibit the gun from functioning properly.
I was kind of surprised at the amount of grit that got into the action of the weapon.
Basically fired one shot, and there's so much grit back in the action that got pounded into it from dragging, it's binding up.
I think once Larry breaks down the gun, we clean it, we lubricate it again, the gun's gonna work fine.
The next thing coming up, we're gonna freeze the gun. My guess is it'll come through that with flying colors. It's froze shut. Essentially, once the gun thawed out just enough to get it operational, it worked like a champ. I learned last year to never underestimate Southern Thunder. Now, what I did underestimate was just how rugged the Daniel Defense M4 was. It came through it far beyond what I expected. Yeah! We told Daniel Defense right up front, this year, don't count on your gun getting through these tests. We're gonna take everything to a new level. And to their credit, they had enough confidence in their product. They stepped forward, brought guns up here for the test. You know what, kudos to them for that.